strategic analysis. In Chief Ayotunde, beyond the courtroom, he is a loving husband to Chief Mrs. Aisha Remilekun Ogunleye, herself a distinguished woman, and now Yeye Agemo Ofin of Akure, and a doting father of 3 wonderful sons. In Chief Ayotunde Ogunleye said, we do not merely honor a lawyer, but a bridge between heritage and modern legal sophistication. A man whose intellect is matched only by his integrity and whose humility is only rivaled by his accomplishments. His life stands as a testament to what young lawyers can achieve when vision meets valor. With a resounding applause, make welcome a distinguished legal luminary, legal icon, integral personality in this noble profession, Chief Ayotunde Ogunleye, SAN, to come and give us his open.
I most humbly want to seek the indulgence of the learned Silk to kindly introduce, I apologize, sir. I want to kindly introduce the third panel member who is actually virtually here. She is Mrs. Temitokbe Oluwatosin. She is presently here, and I apologize. So Mrs. Temitokbe Oluwatosin is a lawyer and governance professional with experience in corporate law governance, compliance, and regulatory matters. She has worked as head of Legal Africa PZ Coursing and was a legal counsel at Union Bank for 8 years. A graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University, she has worked across key sectors, advising on corporate governance, commercial transactions, risk management, and regulatory compliance. Mrs. Temitokbe holds a chartered governance professional with the Chartered Governance Institute, United Kingdom and Ireland, as well as a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, United Kingdom. She is the Vice President of African Women in Energy Development Initiative and also a WIM board member, fellow, and a mentor with Whisker, Women in Successful Careers. She was named as one of the top 40 under 40 lawyers in Nigeria in 2021, among other accolades. Please join me to welcome here virtually Mrs. Temitokbe Oluwatosin. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kafayat and Mayowa. And I want to say welcome to everyone that is here, and welcome to a very, very insightful and rich session. Can I request that those behind come forward? I would also have this as a very personal conversation. If you are beyond the third seat, just come forward. If you are beyond the third seat, just come forward. Moments like these sometimes can discourage people. People are distracted. You want to have a hall full of 1,000 people. But most times what is the most important is the transformation that happens in that hall. The fact that we are more compact is going to lead to a much more, a deeper interaction. And that's what I want us to put our minds to achieving today. Having very deep, very, very deep interactions. And I'm sure that at the end of today, somebody is going to go with something that will transform his or her career for the rest of his life or her life. So I want us to pay attention. The conversations today at this session are going to be very fast. We're going to try as much as possible to work with time, and as much as possible, we'll also try to make it bespoke so that people are going to get exactly what they need and not just all talk. Without much ado, I would like to bring to the podium now my friend and my brother, Chief Ayotunde Ogunleye, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, for his lead presentation.
All right. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would have loved to speak Yoruba, which I will speak somewhere along the line. But for the fact that I see my own chairman of the Unity Bar, who is not of the Yoruba extraction, please join me to just make him feel very welcome. Mr. Afam Okeke. I also celebrate our father here. Incidentally, I do not know his name, but I celebrate you, sir. Okay is okay. You are welcome, sir. All right, so can we just celebrate ourselves? Thank you very much. I've been given the opportunity to have a conversation with you, and I would like to stand on existing and established protocol. Mr. Adeto Soye, though, I want to make an exception and say that you are welcome, and I celebrate you. Yes, the conversation is this: specialization versus general practice. Making the right call. Now, let me just say this before I continue. By the time we are done, when they ask you, why did you come to Ife? I want you to be able to say that I came to Ife and I listened to Chief Ogunleye SAN, and that made the difference. Now, the distinction between you taking something away from me or not taking anything away from me is you opening yourself to me for me to be able to impact you. The purpose of contact is impact. So the all may be small, the time may have been well spent. Very correct if we say to ourselves that we're tired. And I totally understand all of that. But then the question is this: why did you come so far if it is not important? And if we're already here, why don't we then do what we came here to do? So again, I want you to give yourselves a round of applause. The discussion that we are going to have is not merely an academic discussion. It is a question that determines your career. It will shape your reputation. This discussion has the potential to influence your earning capacity as a lawyer and ultimately affect the impact that you make in society as a legal practitioner. So therefore, as a young lawyer, particularly within the first 7 years after our call to bar, there are few decisions that are more important than the decision of what do I become a general practitioner? Do I become specialized in this or that area? Today, I'm going to try my best to talk you through that conversation and show you the how if you choose to specialize, and then give you the comfort to be a general lawyer if you want to be, and then answer a couple of questions that may already be in your heart or that you may have for me. Now, when many of us left Nigerian law school, we believed that we were prepared for law practice, and I'm sure many of you would have the same opinion with me. But then, we soon discovered that the legal practice and legal education are two different things. There's a distinction between a person who has graduated from law school and a lawyer. Believe me, as similar as it may be, they're exactly the same. Because they are not the same, sorry. Because the law school teaches you to become a lawyer, but law practice teaches you how to survive and thrive as a lawyer. The first few years are often characterized with uncertainty. You may wake up in the morning and draft a land agreement. In the afternoon, you are doing a fundamental rights application. Then maybe the next day, you are doing a criminal trial. And then by weekend, you are reviewing a corporate agreement. I'm sure all of you can relate to this. Now, at this stage, you now begin to ask yourself this question: should I continue to expose myself to different areas of law, or should I focus on one area and become an expert? And I'm sure all of us are familiar with this quote that says, "A jack of all trades, master of none." So today I want to clarify for you, as far as law practice is concerned, there's no universal answer to that question. There are just principles that you need to know that will help you to guide your decision. Now, what is general practice? General practice refers to a legal career in which a lawyer handles multiple areas of law, from litigation, property transactions, corporate law, and so on and so forth. Some people even do music law, sports law, and combine it together. And then they say they are also arbitrators, and so on and so forth. But historically, this was the model upon which many successful Nigerian lawyers actually built their practice and their careers. A general practitioner becomes a problem solver. Most of the lawyers you knew, you read about that made history in this country, most of them were general practitioners. So, in case you have it in mind or you're already feeling depressed that you are doing law as a general practice at this age, please let the depression go away from today. It is not wrong, and I will show you why. Clients will come with diverse legal challenges, and then the general practitioner develops generally the ability to navigate across disciplines. Now, what's the advantage? First, you have broad exposure, right? Now, as a young lawyer, you need broad exposure. Are we still together? Okay. A young lawyer gains experience across several sectors before you must gain that experience before you now determine where do I have strengths. Are we still together? Second, broad or general practice enhances what I call adaptability. Now, the legal profession is constantly evolving. If you are not able to adapt, you will fall off. So, imagine that person whose foundation is already built strongly and firmly in doing multiple things. It will be able to evolve quite easily. Thirdly, it gives you a sense of commercial awareness. You begin to appreciate how different areas of law interact with one another. And then it provides resilience. When one area of practice experiences a downturn, you will have something else to fall back on. Right. Now, but what are the limitations? I said, as legal issues become increasingly complex, clients are beginning to demand specialists. Okay? Large corporations do not merely seek lawyers, they seek experts. Are we together now? So you see that I'm beginning to reshape the horizon now. So the question is, do I want to practice law to survive, or I want to practice law and thrive? Just hold that thought. Now, corporations, for instance, telecommunication corporations want a lawyer who understands telecommunications regulation. They want a lawyer who understands energy law and knows it inside out. They want a lawyer who understands the capital market. They want a lawyer who understands data protection and artificial intelligence, for instance. So in today's world, broad knowledge may open the door for you, but deep knowledge will secure what is inside the door for you. Did you catch that? I said broad knowledge. Broad knowledge may what? Open the door for you, but deep knowledge will secure you a seat at the table and give you what is inside the room. So, what is the need for specialization? Or why is it that specialization has become quite attractive? Modern legal profession is increasingly driven by experts. Complexity has become the defining feature of legal practice. In today's world, we are dealing with technology, globalization, cross-border transactions, regulatory expansion, cybersecurity, environmental concerns, digital assets, and so on and so forth. And guess what? These new areas were not even available 20 years ago. So remember what I said, that many of the lawyers that you read about, many of them were general practitioners. But then the question I want to ask you, and this is now, my lecture has just started. And he said I have 10 minutes. Don't worry. I will use the time. I just started my lecture now. So the first question you want to ask yourself is this. When is the last time that Nigeria has produced an Awolowo? When is the last time that we have or we had an FRA Williams? You are welcome, our Kiboro SA. So I have 5 extra minutes. I mean, added to my time. Are we together? Please, cameraman, I need to make facial contact. Are we following one another? When we read about great lawyers, when we started law practice or we became interested in it, there were names that represented what law meant. How many of those types of names have we created in the last 2 decades? And how many of them, if any, were general practitioners versus those who specialized? When I mentioned to you now, Chief Wole Olanipekun, SAN, immediately, without so much struggle, you will just link him to election petition. If I mention Pastor Femi Atoyebi, SAN, without much ado, you would immediately link him to what? I want to know whether the people here are quite, to what? To maritime law. Are we together? In fact, Pastor Femi Atoyebi told a story to me that at a time, once there's a dispute in that industry, both the claimant and the defendant will begin to rush in the direction of his office. And that it is he who comes first that he will usually take their brief. And sometimes when he looks at it and he doesn't want to take it, he will now give them a bill that he knows that they cannot pay. And they will tell him they will pay more. That is what specialization can give to you. Now, because specialists enjoy professional recognition, they have greater value in the market. Just take the example of your general hospital versus a specialist hospital. I'm sure many of you here, if you had any particular ailment, God forbid, and then they told you that the doctor that is coming in the room is a specialist in that area, even without touching you, you already feel healed and you feel calm because the impression is that he has deep knowledge in that particular area that he has specialized. Some of us, when we go to the hospital, what you pay to seek consultation with a general practitioner, you pay like ×9 to see a specialist. So they have better opportunities, they get better referrals. Now, so it's good to specialize. The problem is for young lawyers is this. There's what is called premature specialization. And that's what I want to talk about now. And this is where I want to caution you. One of the biggest mistakes that a young lawyer can make is to specialize too early. A lawyer who limits himself too soon may never discover where his true strength really lies. The first years of practice should be a period of exploration before choosing a destination. One must understand the terrain. You cannot make an informed choice without sufficient exposure. Young lawyers should therefore avoid becoming prisoners of trends. Today, everybody wants to be a fintech lawyer, right? Tomorrow, that same lawyer will ask him, What are you doing? I'm in fintech now. Then you see him tomorrow, say, what are you doing? I say, I'm in artificial intelligence. In fact, I'm the go-to person for all matters relating to artificial intelligence in this city of Ibadan. But then you see him on Saturday, say he's now in digital asset regulation. Because that is what is trendy, right? But remember, I told you, this is about career. It's not about fashion. It's not about what is trendy. The goal is to build competence, not to trend. All right? Not to follow what is on social. So what is my recommendation? If I were to advise or to be advising a lawyer who is less than 7 years at the bar, or who has just been called to bar today, how should you go about the journey to specialization? I would say that in the first to third year, you should have a general practice. In those 3 years, you should go to court, draft agreements, attend negotiations, conduct legal research, observe senior lawyers, build foundational skills across board. Then between your 4th to 7th year, you now begin to pay attention and ask yourself, what interests me? What am I naturally good at? That is to say, what am I fishing water at? And the principle I'm teaching you today is one I practiced in my life that absolutely worked for me. Okay, so I'm not teaching you what I have not practiced. What work do clients seek me out for? Don't worry, I still have time. And which areas offer future opportunities? If you are today, you are here, you are 4 years, 5 years at the bar, and you have judges referring clients to you for a certain or a specific area of practice, you should pay attention. You find seniors calling you to say, please come and join me to do this. And consistently, it's the same area. You should watch that pattern. Maybe that is the area you should specialize in. Now, once you cross that 7 years threshold, it's time to build expertise. Once you identify your strengths, then you begin to invest deliberately in that area. And what type of investments should you make? Read extensively. The day you stop learning, you start to die. And the fact that you are reading to become an expert in an area does not mean that you stop reading about other areas as well. It's just that this one is extensive and deeper. Obtain certifications. Be intentional. There are so many opportunities on the internet today where you can get certifications. Take advantage of it. Okay? Publish articles. You should be known for something. I have a friend who told me, can I surprise you, my dear friend? In the past 3 years, I've not taken a client in my office from Nigeria. All my clients are from outside this country. And I asked him why. He said, well, what they often say to me is that they go on LinkedIn or they go on my blog and they read my publications. So he does publications intentionally almost every other day on labor law. And that they've read my paper on this or that area, and then they consult me. By the way, this friend of mine, one of his clients is British Embassy. So you can imagine what specialization can do for you. Teach people in that area. There's one principle I want to teach you today. When you retain knowledge with intention of teaching it, the knowledge sticks with you better. And when you also have a reputation for excellence, you will have no choice. You will be excellent. Otherwise, everybody will know you are a mediocre. So once you identify your area, put a profile out that says, this is what I am specializing in. Everybody knows Chief Ogunleye SAN is an election litigation specialist. Everybody knows. Even the ant that is walking on the ground So you can now imagine that I receive a consult in that area and I am not exceptionally good at it. So you can set yourself up to succeed in life by telling everybody that this is who I am. I've been following our Oga, and permit me, I don't intend to embarrass you. I want to use it to encourage us. I've been following him now for over a decade because when I came into the city of Abuja, everywhere you go, the news of his excellence just transcended his personality. Everybody knew that Oga Atimboro is excellent. I remember there's a friend of mine that did his youth service in his chambers. You better come and extend this thing. So I need just 5 minutes. Did his youth service in his chambers. As far back as 2011, he came with a diary that is branded to the firm. And I looked at that diary, 2011, and I'm like, this is a man of excellence. I want to know him. So here, sitting in your midst today is an example of what I'm preaching and teaching you. You should also join professional associations because in Yoruba, wọ́n ní ẹgbẹ́ ẹyẹ ni ẹyẹ máa ń ṣe kíni, òun wọ́tọ̀. Ẹ má bínú pé mo pòwe wájú yín o. The future, now another concept I want us to explore before I begin to wind down is what I call the T-shaped lawyer. And I said in my paper, I said, the future belongs to the T-shape, the letter T, the T-shaped lawyer. I said the horizontal bar of the T represents broad legal knowledge, while the vertical bar represents deep expertise in one or two areas. So that is, you should have broad knowledge and you should possess a deep knowledge in one or two areas. I said such a lawyer understands the wider legal environment while possessing specialist competence. That combination is extraordinarily powerful. Some of us here now, somebody who will say, where's your jurisdiction? Say, I practice in Ibadan. So then you give him the High Court Civil Procedure Rules of your state. Please, can you just guide me? Which one is, what provision relates to pre-trial conference? Is this, give me 1 minute, let me just Google it. Don't be that kind of lawyer. If we want to do it, this has always been my own opinion about life. If you want to do it at all, do it very, very well enough. If you went through, by my own statistics, it took us 22 years to wear this wig and gown. If you count it from nursery school to primary school, to JAM, to secondary school, and so on and so forth. So why would you then get the wig and gown and then be mediocre at law practice? We will not be mediocre in Jesus' name. So beyond, now I'm winding down. So beyond learning law itself as a skill, there are certain things you also must learn if you want to trend and become a good lawyer in this 21st century. You must have good communication skills. You must have good negotiation skills. Your skill in advocacy must be top-notch. You must know financial literacy. Many people are poor because they don't know how to bill. Many lawyers are poor because they don't know how to bill. And many people don't know how to bill because they refuse to learn it. There is a course on billing for legal practitioners in Nigeria on the internet. Please promise me that when you leave Ife, as you are leaving Ife, you will go online and download that course and read it. Because you know what? Nobody will place a value on you that you have not placed on yourself. Nobody will place a value on you that you have not placed on yourself. What you don't radiate, what you don't emit, you cannot receive. So, technology competence, you must be able to use technological tools, even if it is at a basic level, leadership ability, business development skills, emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence. There's something in one of our emotional intelligence training that is called cognitive hijack. Many people are in prison today because of that cognitive hijack. Read about it. Second one I'll teach you is what I call mental deluge, where social media has taken over the ability of people to think, and they only derive an eye in just scrolling through their phone from picture to picture. Believe me, sir, you cannot become the best advocate in court who is the best advocate on WhatsApp groups. Hello, I will stay together. If you are the best advocate on the WhatsApp platform of your class or Ibadan Bar, you are not likely to be the best advocate in the courtroom, because how do you even have the time? And I said this, I said clients now do not merely hire lawyers, they hire trusted advisors, and trusted advisors offer solutions, not merely legal opinions. Permit me to address an area that is often overlooked, which is character. Character. I said, whether you become a general practitioner or a specialist, your reputation remains your greatest asset. In one of my writings, when I was in 100 level, I said one of the reasons why Nigeria why corruption is killing Nigeria is because many of us have forfeited the value of our names. Because níbi tí a ti wá, wọ́n ní orúkọ rere ó sàn ju wúrà àti fàdákà lọ. Rántí ọmọ ẹni tí ìwọ ń ṣe. But you guess what? Many of us in this room now, because of the economic realities of our country and the constraints that we face just to survive, many people will sacrifice their name many times than Peter denied Jesus for economic gain, before they even remember the son of whom they are. And that is when they don't even look their father or mother in the eye and insult them. As if the Bible did not say, honor thy father and your mother so that your days will be long. So I put it to you as a specific principle. Any lawyer who does not honor his father and mother is not likely going to become a great lawyer. The legal profession is built on trust, so protect your name, guard your credibility, and never sacrifice your integrity for temporary gain. Listen to this and take it home. Don't forget this one. A damaged reputation is often impossible to fully repair. Some people tell you both positive and negative publicity is good. I would rather that my name is associated with something positive. Please make the same commitment to yourself. Conclusion. As I conclude, let me return to the question before us: specialization or general practice? The answer is not either or. The answer is timing. Begin broadly, learn widely, develop foundational competence, then gradually build expertise in areas where your talent, passion, and opportunity intersect. The Williams sisters will be returning to Wimbledon in the next coming Wimbledon after how many years of being champions? Do you know why? Because they are practicing a trade that they have passion for. If you find yourself being so passionate about a certain area of law, whichever area it may be, I would suggest that you begin to think of specializing in that area. I encourage you to be ambitious, but please be patient. Don't chase money. I know you will not like me for this one. Do not chase money. Money is like women. When you chase money, money will run away from you. Rather, chase value and value creation. When you create value, money will become answerable to you. And I kid you not, and I will not take it too far. Just think about the guys. Just think about this for 2 minutes. Think about the guys that created the AMCON Act and the NDIC Act, who continue to earn from it till today. Think about the guys that created Law Pavilion. Think about the guys that created Money Points. As a matter of fact, think about the guys that were bold enough when Nigeria was saying that they were moving from to a cashless economy and still thought of creating POS. And just imagine the economy that they have created around that concept alone. What am I saying? If you can think and create, money will not be a problem for you. So, this is my personal reflection so that it doesn't seem like I did not tell my story at all. You see, I was called to buy in 2011. And like many of you, honestly, I started with whatever came. I just was very blessed to make certain informed choices. One was from when I was in the university, I would go at every opportunity I had to go and watch lawyers do their job. And from that time, I formed an opinion about the people that I thought I would model my practice after. One of them was Chief Ole Olanipekun, SAN. One of them was Chief Adegbuega Omolo. So I made up my mind. So by the time I was in law school, it was not difficult for me to say, this is where I want to do my attachment, this is where I want to start my practice, and this is where I want to serve. And then from there on, election petition, I didn't know much about it. But then I was lucky. My interview question was, can you write a brief? And that brief was a Supreme Court brief in an election litigation. And it became something interesting to me. So while we were doing the work, I kept on focusing in the area. And they saw my interest. That's why when I was 3 years at the bar, they said I should go and lead a team in a governorship election petition. As a matter of fact, at 3 years, I was already cross-examining governors. Sharpen your advocacy skills. Let me also tell you this. In life, there's a time to prepare and there's a time to be prepared. Because if you are not prepared when opportunity comes, you will not get it. Our time is fast spent, so I'll just tell you this last story. Let me leave you with this story. One day, a proud goose trotted up to a horse and boasted loudly, "My friend, you should be jealous of me. I can walk on land, I can fly in the air, I can swim in water, and I'm versatile in every way." The horse looked at the goose and said calmly, chewing his grass, and he said to the goose and replied with a smile, "That is true, my brother. But you do many things, but you do all of them poorly. I only know how to run. But when I run, the earth shakes, the wind respects me, and even the eagles look twice. Learned colleagues, be the horse and not the goose. Choose your lane, master it, run with excellence, and the grounds will tremble at your strides." I want you to become the person in this country whose face will announce their identity. I thank you for your attention. God bless the legal profession. God bless Egbe Amofin Odua. God bless Osun State. And God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Chief Ayotunde Ogunleye. Is one that, of course, we are very proud of. I remember when he was taking silk, I was so excited because at least somebody had already now taken the lead to build the cat for our set. And so now the door is open. And since I came in yesterday, somebody has been prophesying. Anytime he sees me, we say, my brother silk. See my brother silk. I say, my brother silk. My journey is still far. But again, when you hear brother silk and hear that kind of prophecy, you just tap into it and then you work it out. And the person that has been making that professor is not that person than the horse that has been shaking the ground, like Chief said. And I showed him what excellence is. Are Olumuyiwa Akimboro. I believe he doesn't need a lot of introduction. If you are here, you don't know him, you don't know anybody. You are on your own. But still lawyer. Anyways, thank you very much for choosing to spend some time with the young lawyers and to also be part of this conversation. If you don't leave early, hopefully we'll tap into your wealth of wisdom. And of course, I think it's public knowledge that you hope to lead the bar. You've led the bar before as General Secretary. And we look forward to a lot of wisdom coming out from you. Of course, Chief had already recognized my friend and brother as well, Prince Adebi Adetosoye, another powerful person from Abuja branch. And the grapevine has it that very soon I will not stop at Adetosoye, that I will continue. And the Lord will perfect it. And we'll be there to celebrate with you as well. Do we have Mrs. Oluwatosi on the line, on the call? The presentation
I'm
by
here.
Chief Ogunleye was extremely deep. I didn't give him. He took by force because it's silk. He took it by force 2 times the time I allotted to him. But this kind of wisdom doesn't come easily. He left work, left a matter in court, flew down to join us in Ile-Ife just because of this. And I think it is worth every bit of it. Can we put our hands together for him one more time? Thank you very, very much for those deep insights. I'm hoping that before the end of this, we'll have a much more interpersonal and very rich conversation. I'm told you don't need to rush for your lunch. A whole caterer has been set aside for only the people that are in this room. So you are going to have the best. Whoever is eating, don't mind. Your food has been reserved, and we're going to have lunch after this session. So let us maximize every moment that we have in here. I'm going to take Mrs. Oluwatosin, and hopefully she can talk about the paper for just about 2 minutes, and then I'll come back to those in the room. Can she hear me? Can she see me?
Yes,
saw her
I
on the
can.
call earlier. Can she hear me? Can
Yes,
she
I
see me?
can. Yes, I can hear you and see you.
Okay, because of time, let's go to Dr. Olanike. She has had the privilege of seeing, like the judges will say, I've had the privilege of reviewing my learned brother's judgment. And okay, Mrs. Tosi, you are here.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
It seems
Can you
are
hear me as well?
muted. Who is supposed
No, I'm
to
not
unmute?
muted. Please, can you hear me as well?
This is the spiritual wickedness that comes with virtual. We are going to overcome that. And that's why I wanted to take her back immediately, and they will come back into the momentum of the room. Who is supposed
Can
to
you hear me
unmute
now?
her? Can you wave if you can hear me, Mrs. Oluwatosin? Just wave. So you can hear me. It's
Yes, I
me
can.
that can't hear you. All right. Okay, while the tech people are dealing with that, let's have Dr. Olanike say something and our own interpretation, understanding, comments on the paper that has just been presented by Chief Ogunleye. A round of applause for her, please.
Thank you so much, Leonard Silk. I guess he has broken it down whole. It's just like we say, every lawyer is a researcher, and you cannot conduct a good legal research without starting from the broad to the narrow. The same applies to your profession. You start from general practice to that specialization. That is not to condemn general practice, but that is also to say, just like the learned say, you cannot find yourself if you've not roamed about. So to actually make a good lawyer, it's very important to go around first. And I know, permit me to use this word, most of the Gen Z lawyers believe it's just about money. The truth is, if we focus too much on the money without thinking of having the competence, and you think the money will give you visibility, the truth is it will not work that way. You want to gather the experience, have the competence, maybe specialize along the line, and believe me, visibility will come and that money will follow automatically. I know in my early days, there are times when I get my salary, I think I started my practice with a salary of 7,000 naira. I think that was in 2007. Yeah, ridiculous, right? 2000, yeah, 7. And with that little money, I know, and then, like you said, you really have to be principled. That is very important, integrity and principle. I know then my first personal brief was to prepare a land agreement. And my fee, the worth of the land was 1 million. And I insisted, I'm going to collect 100,000. And this person said, oh, I'll go to Iyakoko. People will do it for me like 5,000. Go there. The truth is, I did not compromise. I think I'll give that to my boss, who really emphasized integrity and principle. At the moment you start compromising on what you believe in, you're done for as a lawyer. And believe me, this person came back, paid the 100,000, did this. And I've realized over the time, many times I have a brief and I insist on what I believe in or my terms. And these people, the client goes, you may feel bad that, oh, maybe I should have compromised a bit. And then maybe I would have made some money. But believe me, I've had situations more than 2, 3, 4 times where those clients got their cases messed up and they come back to you. And that is when you hit big. Because at that point, if I billed you, let me say 2 million before, I'm not going below 5 million now. Because you're now engaging me to clean up the mess that you could have avoided. And for you to have come back to me, I know you are stuck. So that is when you nail them. So believe me, the time will come where the money will flow naturally. Now I turn down opportunities. They will tell you, oh, all expense paid trip, we want you to come and speak here. And I say, oh, sorry, it clashes with this. I'm not coming. Or I feel, oh, I've gone to this country too much. I want to go to a new country. I'll rather choose this. So, but you have to invest in yourself. You have to be patient. You have to, like the learner 6 say, pay attention to the values you want to create. And believe me, everything will fall in place. But if you put money first, then you may make that money at that point. But the time will come when that money will erode your values. And your clients will go for those that have values and principles. And the money will not be enough to pay your bills as time goes on. So for me, competence comes first in everything. After competence, build your expertise, the visibility, and the money will flow.
A round of applause for Dr. Olanike Adilafu. Thank you very much. That was brief. That was saucy. 2 things came to my mind when she was talking, and I'll ask a very simple question. I want you to chorus the answer. Would you rather be a very rich, I'll make it simple, a very rich lawyer or a senior advocate of Nigeria? Which one? Rich lawyer, SAN. SAN. You would rather be a broke SAN than a rich lawyer. Anyway, that was supposed to play with your mind. Deal with it. I'd rather do two anyway. 2 big men walked in. Let me just recognize them before I go. Is Mrs. Oluwatosi, can she speak now? Can you unmute and say hello?
Hello. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
good. Good. I can hear you. You are audible. Just 1 minute. I'll come back to you. Let me recognize the former national officer. I see the former publicity secretary of the NBA, Okay Ohagba. They say okay is okay. I don't envy those people running for national offices. The Lord is your strength. A former chairman of Abuja branch, Mr. Afamokeke. Thank you very much for joining Young Lawyers as well. Thank you very much. From the way you are hearing their name, you will know that they are not Egbe, but something has brought them to Egbe. May the Lord help all of us. Say amen. Mrs. Oluwatosin, let's have you react and respond and comment on the paper that was just presented by Chief Ogunleye, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, distinguished Silks. Please permit me to appreciate the contributions of our Muyiwa Kimbo to our profession, and also the learned Silk, who is the lead speaker for today and for this forum, Chief Ogunleye SAN. Thank you very much, and also for my co-panelists that has just spoken as well. Your contributions are well appreciated. So I'd want to appreciate the lead speaker for a well-balanced paper. I mean, analyzing the dichotomy between general practice and specialization. And I just wanted to mention that, of course, as a foundation, it's good for young lawyers to, to be, should I say, to be well-rounded. So general practice, because I started my career in banking. Interestingly, I spent less than 2 years in a private law firm before transitioning into banking. But we realized that issues like real estate, issues like probate also resurfaced, and all that knowledge actually shaped me into being a well-rounded lawyer. I mean, you'll be wondering what an in-house lawyer is doing in the probate registry. And even as time goes on, because as you go in your career, you meet people, I mean, within and without, and it is not even good when they ask you about, I mean, like the rules of court, for example, like Leonard Silk mentioned. I mean, they may ask you a general question about, oh, what do we need to file an appeal? Even if you are in-house and you know that you don't do so much litigation, I mean, it is going to be a slight on you personally if you are unable to speak to that, because as an in-house counsel over time, I've found myself in situations whereby I've had to answer, I mean, questions about things I don't do on a day-to-day basis. So I would say, I mean, get rounded, I mean, from a general point of view, like our researcher on this team said, of course, from research, you have to start from a general view before you narrow it down. So I'll say get rounded from a general perspective, because we talk about AI, we talk about data protection, all these are trends. But I mean, in between the lines, there are policies to be reviewed. I mean, there are things that you have to apply. You have to apply your mastery of law, even when you're reviewing policies, I mean, from an in-house perspective. So you need to be rounded, I mean, in every area, in every way you can get the knowledge. And I'd say also that my first salary as a lawyer was 10,000 naira. And of course, I mean, so money is always not everything, because I really wanted to start from, I mean, a law firm before going in-house. And I was able to learn the rudiments. I was able to learn the way courts operate. I was able to learn the way the registries operate. And it also helped me because as an in-house counsel, you'd have lawyers that will come to you with various things. And you should be able to tell that, okay, what this lawyer is saying is true. What this lawyer is saying is, I mean, wrong, because I've had a situation whereby a lawyer was meant to advise us on the requirements for filing a deed of assignment, or for perfecting a deed of assignment, sorry. And it gave us the requirement for perfecting a deed of legal mortgage. So, I mean, even as an in-house lawyer, because the business sees you as an advisor to the business, so you should be able to tell when an advice is correct. You can't just lean on what an external counsel is saying. You can't just lean on what or take everything hook, line, and sinker. So you have to also be grounded in the rudiments of how the registries operate, or how the courts operate, because that will also enable you to be a good advisor to the business. So anywhere you are, any sector you are, I mean, the basic foundation is always, I mean, it is always very right. It's always very critical. Even if you are in oil and gas, even if you are in FMCG, I mean, even if you are in policy, anywhere you find yourself, it's good for you to have an idea of even what your external counsel is telling you, so that you can be able to pinpoint and say, oh, I know that this is this process. I know that this is not the process. So, I mean, I think I'll stop here for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Oluwatosin. That was another very brief but rich contribution. Now let's come to another friend and brother of mine, Chief Kayode Adireni. Let's have you on.
All right. Well, just let me adopt all protocols already established for time's sake. All right. To comment on the lecture, I wouldn't even call that a lecture anyway. What I told him after that is that that was so interactive. It's difficult to take your eyes off him, you know, throughout everything. Psychologists will tell you that attention span is about 2 minutes, and then you begin to feed it with your phone and the likes. But in his own case, it was difficult to take your eyes away, and I really commend him for that. Now, that is not my comment about his presentation. Thank you for the word. I wanted to avoid the word lecture. As he was talking, a story came to my mind. Okay, when my citation, I will tell you the story, I'll drop the mic as far as his presentation is concerned. Okay, when my citation was being read, one of the last things said is that I'm the chairman of a branch, that's Abeokuta. So, and there is a general belief that I think some of my branch members are here. It's a general belief that about 90% of young lawyers preferred me for reasons known to them. Now, that came with a lot of things, all right? One of the things they came with is that I noticed that after NYSC or post-call most times, many young lawyers come to my office to ask me one question, many of them. And the question usually is, sir, which firm do you advise that I should join in this Abeokuta? That question comes very often. In fact, I used to think that that question was put to virtually all seniors or mid-seniors. But when I started asking my colleagues around, I discovered that that was not the case. So here is the story of a lady. I'll give a pseudonym. I don't want to mention her name because I don't know where the recording will get to. I'll call her Miss X. Miss X. She was fresh out of law school. No, when Leonard Stick was talking about the T-shaped lawyer, then our story came to mind. For me, Miss X is, you know, both patently and latently brilliant, a very brilliant young lady. So brilliant that if I had not told myself that I'd rather not employ a young lawyer than employ and not pay well. If not for that, I would have employed her straight. Very brilliant. She thinks on her feet so well. So when she asked me that question, I made some brief suggestions where I thought she could earn broad knowledge and the likes. Now, she submitted applications to a number of firms. Eventually, the firm she settled for, that firm, about 95%, I am not exaggerating, about 95% of the briefs in that firm ends with magistrate court matters. Okay? They know every section of the ACJL Ogun State about bail and mostly criminal matters. So vast in bail matters and the likes. That was where she went to. So when she joined that firm, she told me she had joined, and I asked her why she joined. Unfortunately for her, that firm pays well too. So it was because of money she went there. Now, I asked her questions randomly. Money is good, by the way, and I know that the issue of money and what young lawyers earn will always be a matter of strong debate, I know. But I now asked her, please, when was it? You have been in this, I think she joined September last year. I said, you've been in this firm for over 6 months or so. Have you seen your principal argue any case or conduct any serious trial at the High Court? Or whether she took it to Court of Appeal? She didn't even let me land before she said, no, no. Then I began to see how myopic she is already. So I told her, Miss X, you are getting your money. Yes, fine. But I sense that in the next 10, 15 years, you may struggle to find relevance. In fact, I'm seeing it already in her. And that kind of law firm, you know their style. I made findings about that man. I think it's about our call mates too. He has a lot of friends as police officers. So before police officers, while police officers are driving suspects to court to arraign them, they will call him, Barrister so-and-so, I think ball, meaning that we are bringing that person. So he just tells, and in Ogun State, if you practice in, particularly Abeokuta, most times on the day of arraignment, registrars will tell you, open your trial. So you are expected as a defense counsel to cross-examine. So most times lawyers, and he has a lot of lawyers in his firm. I think about maybe 6 or 7. So as the calls are coming in, lawyers are already seated waiting. So as the calls are coming in, he just gives the name. Police will have given the name of the suspect to that counsel. So this lady now became so disorganized. So I feel for her currently. She earns money, but I see her life nosediving, her professional life nosediving. That's my own assessment of that. So that lady, for example, I think she put the cart before the horse. All right. She had not gained a broad knowledge first before trying to seek depth. Of course, money was a factor for her. And I would end our story, like I said, and drop the mic, with one thing she asked me one day. Okay, don't worry, we can get your view later. Ayo, you can. I want to hear what she has to say. I think is it about what we are talking about now? I would like to hear that view. That's okay, if Charles permits. Now, there was a day that our principal told her, Miss X, go to the High Court. Finally, they had matrimonial cause matter, dissolution matter. And the firm was to represent the respondent to the petition for decree of dissolution. Now, Miss X now called me and said, Mr. Chairman, sir, please, I need a template to file counter affidavits to the petition for dissolution. Now, if you have done anything about divorce matters, you will know that that question is like, I don't even know how to describe that question. You know what I mean? It's even worse than odd. So she was expecting to file a counter affidavit to a petition for dissolution of marriage. And I was like, wow, where do I even begin from and the likes? So like I began with, response no nearly, all joined. Answer no shini. I think it is time to drop the mic. Thank you.
To your left, there is doctor. To your right, there is doctor. To your left, there is Chief SAN. Farther left, there is Chief. Another one is coming. And me, I'm just Mr. But there is God. Put your hands again together for Chief Adiremi. Thank you very much for that one. That's organized charge and bill. That's very structured charge and bill. It's interesting. If every charge and bill can be like that, at least it's a bit better. And then those that chose money over being SAN, at least you'll still be fine. You can have organized and structured charge and bill. And then you can be filing a counter affidavit to divorce petitions. A round of applause for yourselves. I like the energy I see in the room. I have more than 10, 15 questions that I would have put to the panel. But you see, when you have a room like this, I try to maximize it because it's the best opportunity you can have for the deepest form of impact. And so I'm going to allow you to do more of the questioning. If you don't have questions, I'll provoke the questions though. But I want you to do more of the questioning. I want it to be bespoke. And if you don't want to tell your own story, there is this way we always do it. One of my friends told me that, do you understand? You can also say, I heard from one of my colleagues that, then you tell your story. We know it's not you, but at least you will get direct and bespoke answers. Are we together? But before we do that, you don't have this kind of wisdom seated in the room and you allow him go. And this question is flowing from what Chief Adiremi mentioned. And of course, having been a former national executive myself, 3 times I've run for NBA national elections before. I've been a branch executive. I've been a YLF chairman. I'm not saying you should clap for me. I'm asking whether or not I should be pitied. Do you understand? Because Chief Ogunleye SA did not go through my own kind of wala, but now we are looking at him and we are looking up to him. We are proud of him. I don't know whether you are prouder of me or prouder of him, but anyway, that's why I want to ask Area Kimboro this question. Many young lawyers, either you are running for an office. I have another one here that wants to run for the office I just left. Is also here. But many young lawyers, you are an ESCO in Ikorodu now. Immediate public secretary, and you now want to be national assistant public secretary. Okay. And he's a young lawyer too. Now, many young lawyers are either running for an office or supporting one candidate. They are devoted significantly to participating in NBA politics. Now, can this active involvement of young lawyers in activities of the NBA, particularly when it comes to leadership, do you think it has a way that it can limit, reduce, obstruct their ability to specialize or to remain in general practice? But more importantly, to be successful, does it have positive? Does it have negative? Do you advise it? What's your advice to young lawyers with regards to participation in NBA politics? Put your hands together for Are Olumoyiwa Akimboro SA.
Thank you very much, Charles. I think this is putting me on the spot, really. But I want to first of all say that I listened attentively to Manani Brother 6 paper, and I want to tell you that he actually covered the field. I was looking at for one area, and when he finally dovetailed to that area, I clapped for him in my mind. So give him a round of applause, please. You see, before I go to answer his question, I want to tell you something. Please don't let anybody deceive you that you need to, as you are now, go and specialize. Let's take for an example. I like to interact when I speak to people. If you decide to go and specialize in, for example, let's take the most common one, arbitration. So I am an arbitrator, you are an arbitrator. So there is a dispute. So they will leave you and they will leave me. Ask yourself that question. So that is the answer to what he just told you. Build your general knowledge first. Then move to the stage where you need to specialize. If you try to think that, okay, I want to, somebody came and told us in my branch that, go and specialize in aviation. So if perchance there's a problem in that industry, they will come and brief you, right? So you need to understand that you need to, first of all, start to crawl. It's natural in life. It's one of the natural rules of life. You crawl, you walk, you run. Then if you can fly, good for you. But you must start from crawling. So, and he said all that in his paper to you. You need to be gradual about it, but you must have a destination. You must know what you want to become. You must have a goal where you want to be. That is what's happened to all of us. We started generally, then we started narrowing to go to the point that we are now. Now, you asked me about MBA activism. You see, I hate it when people call MBA activists MBA politician. I'm never a politician. And I'll tell you why I never like it when people refer to me as MBA politician. My first encounter in MBA was when I ran for Secretary of Abuja branch. That was in 2000 and, let me leave that one, because they start looking at me as on that. I want to take him up on that. If you look at him and look at me, he's the only one that has his hair is gray. My own is dark. Is dark. So who is the old man between me and him? And I'm even challenging him to a 1,000-meter dash outside. If he beats me, I'll give him a cow. See, that's the smart way of negotiating. I didn't say I'll give him a car. I'll give you a cow. I want to see how we take the cow to Abuja without incurring more cost than even the value of the cow. So I started as a secretary in Abuja branch. And when I was secretary in Abuja branch, actually, I was encouraged to run.
I've always been, I just want to face my practice. I was encouraged to run the secretary in Abuja branch. And when I go to the secretariat, I like my environment being organized. The same happened when I got to the national office. So I organized the secretariat of the branch. After that, after I finished my 2 years, I left and continued my career. And when the opportunity came, because in Abuja we have a system that will rotate the chairmanship, I was actually invited to come and be chairman. And when I was told that, okay, you can go and run for chairman, I went to people that I believe are more desiring or more or have better advantage than me. Because you have to learn that there is seniority and you meet some people in the trade. So, and I met them in Abuja, and I know that likely they may want to be chairman, and we are from the same zone. So as I went to them, I said, this thing, one or two people said I should run, but if you are going to run, definitely I'm not going to run. And surprisingly, it was like they have a consensus. I said, no, we want you to run. And I actually ran unopposed to become chairman of Abuja. So, to tell you, I'm trying to build something so I can tell you how even the FB activism, as I want to call it, can enhance you personally. Now, after I ran for MBA chairman, within that 2 years, the branch in Abuja became a frontline branch in Nigeria. And apart from that, I had the fortune of hosting the MBA National Conference as the LOC. And some of the things you see today, Friendship Center, it happened for the first time during my time. I created Specialization Center. And a lot of other things like that. The first branch, major secretariat, all that, training. When you hear about ICLE, I negotiated a deal with somebody that created the ICLE we see today and we know today. So things like that. When I left again after I finished my term, I went back to my practice. I was again asked to come and run for general secretary. And I ran for general secretary and I won. And that was the foundation of the modern secretariat you are seeing now. If I want to tell you all the things that transpired in the secretariat, at least I know that almost everybody that have had the opportunity to assess my tenure as a general secretary have said that I did fairly well. I don't like marking my script. And most of the things that you are seeing now also were things that were foundationally did that time as general secretary, like your stamp and seal now, like your stamp and seal, even your modern secretariat. A lot of, if I want to go on that line. Now, let me tell you how MB activism can enhance you. Well, there are two sides to it. If you turn yourself to what they describe as MBA politician, what will happen to you is that you will, year in, year out, be the go-to person in one locality to help them move around and gather votes and do this and that, and you become a political hand. That is what will happen. And that has a potential way of limiting you in your practice, because you'll be used to these seasonal freebies. I will describe it as seasonal freebies. When they will come and okay, you are the henchman here, this and that, and you're getting freebies. Anything that is free has the potential of making you lazy. That's the truth. If you have if you look at it, the strategy of children most of children from very rich family. If care is not taken, the tendency is for them to be weak or weaker than their rich parents, because things come easily. So don't make yourself a MBA politician. You can be an MBA activist. And I'll tell you how it can enhance you. I was wanted to go to the Abuja FCT GSE by the CJ of FCT High Court. Honorable Justice Gumi. I served with him when I was chairman, and watching my activities, when they was opening at the FCT GSC, he actually invited me that I should come and we have a process in Abuja. We recommend the oldest chairman for such position. So when the opening happened, I recommended the oldest chairman that have not benefited. And when I took it to him, he asked me to add my name. So I went back to the meeting and I went to consult the meeting. And at the meeting, I was granted permission to add my name. I did not take anyone out. I added my name as number 3. Anybody that is familiar with the process of appointment knows that you only recommend 2. So I put my name as number 3. I was really not interested. And surprisingly, I was picked. And I did not complete my term in FCT GSC. I just did, it's a 5-year tenure. I just did 3.5 years before Honorable Justice Aloma Mukhtar, who was CGN that time, took me to FGSC. I was also inducted in FGSC and said I should come to FGSC. So I went to my CGN and said, CGN said I should come to FGSC. I said, go to FGSC, you have more opportunities there to help people. And I went there and I made my mark. Let me tell you that when I was chairman in Abuja, for the first time and the only time, the chairman of MB Abuja was made a member of the Land Use and Allocation Committee by the Minister of the FCT. I was the only one in the history of MB Abuja. I was picked by the minister to say I should come and sit on it. And I performed my responsibility creditably in that committee. There are so many other things like that. The bottom line that I'm trying to tell you is that it can give you the opportunity to prove yourself and let people see you. It can give you a platform, the opportunity to demonstrate your innate capabilities, and that will showcase you. That is the best you can get from MBA. If you go to MBA with the intention of going to make money there, you are going to end up destroy yourself. Yes, she gave me the word, destroying yourself, because you will keep chasing shadows. You can give you opportunities, and that is the best thing you can get from MBA. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope you heard the ones he said and the ones he said. Now, do you have your own questions, or do you want me to take a few questions? You have one question. Can I have another microphone? I don't want to leave this one because I'm just going to give you 1 minute to ask the question. So you have one question. Please. Okay, no, okay, wait first. If you have a question, raise your hand so that we can take them up. So if you have someone you would like to answer the question, you can direct it. If you don't direct it, I will assign it. So the first question, that's Kafayat. Second question, what's your name? Adiola is having the second question. Banker is the third question. All ladies. Any guy? No, senior, young lawyer first. Any other person? Any other question? Okay, then we can now have our interventions from the Lords of the Rings after the young lawyers. But I wanted to say something real quick from what Dr. Lanike said, and the panelists will answer the question. Ms. Oluwatos, you should be on alert as well. She mentioned something about rejecting briefs, and as some briefs come now, she tells them this is how much she wants, and they'll go. And I thought I should share something real quick that is my personal story, which especially for those of us that are just started practice, it may help you. As God will have it, aside out the firm that I work in now about 14 years ago. And so this is coming from a lot of experience. Now, you find out that somebody comes to you and you evaluate the nature of the work you want to do. And then you tell the person, for the purpose of this conversation, real life story, it's going to be 35 million naira. And the person goes and doesn't come back again. She told one side of the story. They go, they make a brick wall, they come back. Sometimes they go, she doesn't miss them. But this is somebody going and doesn't come back. The next person comes and you say, okay, the value of this work is 50 million. The person goes and doesn't come back again. So he gets the job done for much less. Now, they keep going that way. It's not necessarily because your price is high or they cannot afford it. And that's the intervention I want to make. Most of the time, it's also because you have not been able to sufficiently quantify the value you want to give to them in such a way that they know that it is worth that amount. It's a different thing that they cannot pay it. But when a client goes because he thinks you are too expensive and goes to get a cheaper person, that person perhaps did not understand the value you were bringing to the table. You just told him the work you will do. You did not communicate the value you will bring to him. And it was until I learned that I realized that a lot of people that had gone earlier did not need to go. It was because they didn't even understand what value you are bringing. Kafaya, your question.
All right.
Not for me, Joe. I've just helped you to make money and you are doing money. All right, then.
Thank you so much, Mr. Charles. I would also want to say a very big thank you to the learned Silk Ogunleye. In fact, the presentation was really, really deep. And I think a lot of it answered some of the questions I have. But I think I still find myself in a dilemma because, like you said, you highlighted some factors that we need to consider when we are looking out to specialize in a particular niche. Now, what if the niche people bring to you more often seem not to be the niche you actually want to concentrate in? But then each time you always get people bring a particular niche. In fact, after they bring it, they also refer, and those they refer.
All right, I got the question. I
Those
got you.
refer
They keep bringing divorce petition to you, but you like criminal litigation. I get it.
divorce petition.
No. That's the context.
So I don't know if you can guide around that area. Will it be recommended to still pursue the niche you feel like you actually want to specialize on, while also a master of the one that they bring so often?
All right, thank you for Kafayat. I got the question. Ms. Oluwatosin, that will be your question. And then maybe after you are done, I'll chip in something. Next question, please. Ms. Oluwatosin, please know that question. You would answer Kafayat's questions. Yes. Who is the next person? Okay, that's Adiola. No, you are the last. You are essentially after the fact.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Don't thank them again. Just ask the question. Don't thank anybody.
So my question is two. The first one is, let me start from the last. The first one is about the value you mentioned just now. You said we should not allow them to, they should know the value. What of, I have a scenario. Let me just paint it really fast. I want to do a deed of 50 million property. And I said, I'm standing on my 10%. And they said, I'm giving you value, register your title deed and things like that. They said, no. We have someone that used to collect 2% from us. We are going to that person. But I know what I want to do for you is the best thing. They left my office. They went to another colleagues of mine. And that person is ready to collect 50,000 for 50 million deed. And you are telling me to sell. I'm saying I sold my value. I actually cajoled them. I explained to them what they will benefit from that. But there's still one of my colleagues that can do it 50,000 for 50 million deed.
Okay.
And also,
okay,
I want to talk about seniority at the bar. Learning strategy.
That's a different question, Abi. Okay, so the first question will be for Chief Aderemi. Okay.
Talk about the senior at the bar, whereby you want to practice that, you want to learn at their faith. And paint a scenario, I will not mention him, but some people from Ekiti will understand. There's a lawyer that actually worked in a law firm. A senior lawyer gave her money, 40,000 naira, to go to court and perfect a bill. On her way going, she had an accident. And on the hospital bed, the lawyer sent another senior lawyer to come and collect her 40,000 naira on the hospital bed to go and perfect the bill in court. And she was there, she was not collecting salary at that law firm. They just gave her like 2,000 naira weekly, 4,000.
What's the question?
So that lawyer that is the young lawyer that wants to practice, that I want to learn, I'm not after money. But things like that happens to her. Can that, what happened to her? Can what happened to her still encourage her to learn, or can you broke her?
Okay,
That's
I'll give Dr. Lanike that one because
the third one, sorry.
another one again. This
About-
one has to be short too.
Yes, the girl from Abeokuta that will seek advice from my
If I do Remy, don't worry.
So I want to just suggest, or it's not, I'm not enough to advise you. You can actually bring the girl back to the field. I was once a victim like her.
Okay, noted. If I do Remy,
Advise her and advise her how to come back from that stage of making money and how to build her life better. And for life should be quite.
thank you very much, Adiola. A round of applause for Adiola. If I do Remy, they say you should give the lady money and let her come and be learning practice for him. But don't worry, I will allow you to answer the one of the hospital bed person. Where's the third question, please? But whilst you are coming forward, I need to recognize a big elephant that entered the room, but it came as a human being. It's not elephant, but they say it's big elephant. Former chairman of the NBA Lagos branch, the youngest bencher that we have, Mr. Lateef Omoyemi Akongbe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you very much, sir. Now, very quickly, don't thank anybody, no protocols.
Okay, my question goes to Dr. Olanike. When you were speaking, actually, okay, during your recitation, I heard that you specialize in divorce, in family law and all of that. I already made up my mind that, okay, I'm going to walk up to you, get your number, and then get connected to you. The question now is, when it comes to mentorship, how do I, as a mentee, make the most use of mentorship? That is the question.
Okay, that's a very deep one. But Dr. Lanike is up to that. Any other question? We will take the big ones after. You are also daddy. Essentially after the fact. Don't worry. We'll first take okay. No, not now. Please sit down, sir. Don't worry. You can still sit down. We still have okay is okay. We have Prince Adetosoye, and then we will have you. But let's have the panelists run through this question, and then we'll now take the second bout of questions, and then we can close this. Okay, Mrs. Oluwatosin, can we hear from you very quickly? 1 minute, if you can do that answer in 1 minute. Can you unmute her? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, to the first question, so I'd say, I mean,
Yeah, reduce the volume now. Please continue, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay, I'll say, I mean, first question, I'll say timing is also very important, right? Because when you're building your career, you have to be very intentional. I mean, as much as you're intentional about your client's brief. So, for example, I mean, starting as a long lawyer, it's good to have a breadth of every matter, but your depth also matters, and that's the specialization over time. So, I mean, you have to carve a niche for yourself. So initially, you could start, I mean, accepting all the briefs so that I won't say accept all the briefs well, because just the ones that, of course, you are competent to do at the time. And also, as we are taught to network, also seek assistance of other senior lawyers, I mean, to help you, I mean, ensure that you carry out the brief properly. But then, in growing right along the line, it's good to seek depth, and you can't just accept, I mean, any brief, because there are some, I mean, like we talked about Chief Olanike Kwesi, and you know that you can't accept any brief at his level, right? So you have to be very intentional. You have to, I mean, if you are carving a niche for yourself, you have to be very intentional about it. And again, Lord Dennis said something. He said, I mean, God forbid a lawyer that knows all the law. A good lawyer knows where to find the law. So you can even refer people, I mean, to the right hands, to the people that, the specialists that can answer to the particular brief. And even that said, those people too, in reciprocity, they would also know that, okay, this is my colleague, this is what she's good at doing. And I mean, as you build your network, as you build your career, as you grow, I mean, people would know what you are good at, and people would also come to you. I mean, you attract, I mean, the value you bring, and you should also be intentional about making people know the value you bring to the table. As lawyers, you are trained, I mean, to say, okay, these are my billable hours, these are the efforts, but then let people also know the outcome. Because working in-house, I mean, even when the lawyer is charging us, we want to know the value he brings to the table. I mean, not even, of course, for law, we can't say, oh, this is the outcome of the case. But for example, maybe title perfection, for example, doing a good work, for example, filing particular, I mean, papers so that, oh, I won't be seeking amendments and my case will be prolonged. So, I mean, basically carving out your niche, I mean, and also network, I mean, network while you are going up, and also network wide, so that people will know, I mean, what you are good at. There is LinkedIn there. I mean, there are other platforms there. So, I mean, as an in-house counsel, for example, I mean, for us in-house, I mean, you don't want to move from one corporate job to the other, but you know that, oh, okay, if I take this job, for example, it may pull me back in the sense that, oh, they're still not advancing certain technology, maybe for loan approvals, for example. I'll still be dealing with files. So, I mean, those are some of the things that will also inform you as a lawyer. You have to be very intentional about your career. You have to know, carve out a niche as you go. Of course, while you are growing, as I said, timing is very important. Try to seek breadth, and when you are growing, also seek depth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Oluwatosin. You know, when you're talking about intentionality, I see how you place that orange pot with the plant to your right side. That's very intentional. Thank you very much for your submission. Very, very appreciative. Can we put our hands together for her, please? Okay, Chief Adjoini.
All right. Well, by way of summarizing, I think Deola asked that question. She's not here. I think she asked, I think your question is what to do when you, I'm trying to paraphrase, if your colleague is charging less, like you use agreements for an example, and you feel like you are losing something because clients keep going to that person, what do you do? Is that a question? Okay, so for me, of course, it happens. It happens. What, unfortunately, for some people, but fortunately for me, we started the remunerations order in my branch. So every time a client walks out to my office and tries to cajole me or beg me to take less, I have fear in my heart. Some of my members are here from Abeokuta because I feel that if I, as chairman, compromise and charge less, then what message am I sending to our members when I was the one that approved the order? So that puts me in the box already. But beyond that, I have a price I've put to myself. I know my value. That's what I do. So when colleagues or if colleagues charge less, I have told myself, Kayode, you have two options. One, compromise and take just about anything. Two, maintain your standard and then you stand out. So I've noticed that, you know, there is a way that you can be so sure of yourself that people will think you are proud. Yes, if you have sound knowledge and you are very much informed. So you know, when my citation was being read, you may have heard that my first internship was with Chief Afiba Balola. When he came to the first and only time he spoke to us in Lagos, Magodo, he said, gentlemen, young men and young ladies, law is business. You don't, that was about 2010. Yes. And he said that was law school internship. And he said, nobody comes to my office and pays anything less than 5 million naira. And we were asking him, sir, what if the rent, if it's a tenancy matter, what if the rent is 500,000? And he said, that means that person is not for me. That thing shifted my mind for life. For life. I said, so no wonder these people are perceived to be in a, you know, different world entirely. So I tell myself, if my clients charge, if my colleagues charge so less, it is good for them. But I have a value, all right? I know what I can deliver. So I maintain my standard. It makes me stand out, really. And before I drop the mic on that, what I pray for personally is not many lawyers. I mean, many clients. No. It can be few clients, all right? And then you will still make more mark financially. So I don't want to bother about many people coming to me. So I keep on breaking my rules or standards and compromising. Rather, I want to stick to what I think I'm worth. And if you stick with me, then you are my client. If you are not, go to cheaper lawyers. It doesn't mean I'm better than them, but it's just my choice. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Adeola. It's just like if you are from Ibadan, I would say, oh, maybe you've heard about my story. Okay, so I joined this law firm in February of, I think, 2007, 8. And I always go all the way in anything I want to do. It's either I do it the best or I don't do it at all. So within 2-3 months, I started like going to court on my own. And my principal started giving me files. So I see myself going to a promotion almost every day to go and like argue and all those stuff. And on this particular day, it was on a Thursday, I came back from Ogbomoso and I was feeling funny because most times I close by 10, I work on Saturdays. I only have Sunday to myself. And I don't get transport fare to Ogbomoso. So I have to get my appearance fee. So what happened that day was on a Thursday, I came back from Ogbomoso around 3 p.m. I was feeling funny. I just took a bike home. And when I got home, I slept. And my family members took me to the hospital, which was on the way to my office. So there is no way my principal would go home without passing through that route. And I felt betrayed that my principal did not even bother to check on me. And when my principal would call me, he called me to ask for the file of the matter I was supposed to go for the next day. So I told him where the file was. I told him what I've done on the file, that I've prepared everything. Just go there, take the paper written in pencil, and go and argue the case. And for me, on that hospital bed, that was the end. It did not kill my dream, but it made me to have a decision that I don't want to work for somebody that does not care about my welfare. I learned a lot in that firm. That firm shaped me, but I made that choice. I would not work with somebody that does not care about my welfare. So after I got out of hospital, I guess maybe at the point my principal realized it, he told me, oh, if you want to have 2 months off, take it off. And then he sent somebody to me, okay, I'll buy a car for her. I told him it's too late. I'm not working with you again. And I stood on that. So it does not have to kill your dream of what you want to do or your zeal to learn. You just have to know that this comes down to individualism, the kind of person you are. You either have the heart to care for others or you don't. That does not affect the knowledge you have to give. And to the young lady that talks about mentorship, like I mentor a lot of people and I'm always glad to do it because I had great mentors that really influenced my life. But one thing is, as a mentee, you should never take for granted the fact that your mentor is trying and making sacrifice, making time out for you. So you don't want to take advantage of that. And you don't want to abuse the privilege that your mentor is kind of looking out for you, pushing opportunities your way, and you relax. If I push opportunities your way once, twice, 3 times, and I see you as not ready to take it, I get off like, oh, you think I have the time? So the truth is you don't want to abuse the privilege and you want to make sure you always pester your mentor because they may not have the time. And you feel, oh, I don't want to disturb her. I don't want to disturb him. And this person has so many things to do at the same time. So you want to say, oh, hello, I'm just checking out on you. Anything? So at times you just have to like take that step to like go all the way out and don't abuse that relationship. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Dr. Olanike. Man, beautiful. And thank God I put it back to you. And quickly let me recognize the former General Secretary of the Nigerian Bar Association and now Secretary General of the West African Bar Association, Bencher AA, Mr. Adesina Adigbite, and the alternate chairman again of the Egbe Amofin, the Central Planning Committee for this conference. Thank you very much for being here. Do we have any question from young lawyers again? Before I take Leonard Silk's intervention, then I'll now take the accessories after fact, the daddies and mommies that are here. And I must thank you very specially for that intervention. You see, you can choose to be a poor lawyer and then you can own it, without apology. It's fine. But if you want to be a successful lawyer, financially successful lawyer, I think it's a choice you will make. And that's what has been rehashed everywhere. It's a choice you will make. Some briefs will go, some briefs will stay. But what I've realized, one of the top 2 or top 3 law firms in the country, I invited one of the partners at some point to our firm to come and look at what we do internally and share some ideas. And then he went this and this, how much is your office rent, XYZ millions, how much is your overhead, how much, and we calculated everything. And then he came up and he said, so how much do you charge for this? How much do you charge for this? How much do you charge for this? Okay, this is how much you're supposed to charge. So how much do you actually charge and how much have you made in XYZ period? And we looked at it and he said, you are not in business. You are going to be broke. Because if this is what your overhead, this is what is the minimum you should charge. And then that opened my mind to a lot of possibilities. About 5 years ago, in Chambers, we had 18 associates. fee earning associates, and we were one of the best paying on the mainland at that time. And we had 18 people sitting on our payroll. Every money that was coming in was going out, maintaining final fees and paying salaries. But after that interaction I had, we downsized. Happily, I found job for the people that needed to go and brought down that overhead. Not just because we didn't need those services, but because there were some jobs we were doing that we had no business doing. And it was because we were doing those jobs that everybody was busy doing what was not helping us. So at some point, you would have to bear some hard truths and decide what to do and reinvent your firm and reinvent your practice, or even as you are growing, understand it differently. But I just thought I should add that to it. Chief, you want to say, no, we have passed that one. After this one is accessories after facts we are coming to. Okay, Chief, we're going to please.
Okay, so I am led to make this intervention, so I'll stand up because I think it's very important. Now, we have been talking about making money from law practice, and I'm just going to talk about 3 things. So first of all, and I say this, and I want you to hear me well. The money you earn from the work that you do is not necessarily what is going to make you rich. Being rich has principles. If you don't follow them, you will earn money and you will still be poor. Please, if you don't take anything away from this place today, go and learn how to be rich. There are so many materials on it. You cannot become rich if you are not knowledgeable about becoming rich. You will be poor. Except maybe you are lucky, your father or your grandparents or your mother, so you are able to practice it from them. So like I'm telling you, see, please listen to this. Listen to this. The money you earn from the work you do is not necessarily going to make you rich. So that answers the question, they went and gave the job to somebody who is charging less. Number two, it's not every time. Listen to me, please listen to me. Law practice and personal development is not necessarily about you doing brief alone. What the length of what you pull an arrow and the backwards and the length and the distance of what it flies, they are not the same. There are sometimes you need to stay back and pull back because what carries the arrow on that flight, nobody sees it. There are days that you actually need to stay home and load yourself with content. Otherwise, you will just become the lawyer that goes to court and cites authority and write briefs. The content is empty. He knows nothing beyond the work that he does. It doesn't carry value. The individual that attracts wealth is one that carries value. So the work that we do for personal development is not just about practicing this law. Excuse me, sir. There are days that you choose to train yourself in discipline. There are days it is necessary to spend time with your children because your mental health needs to be stable. If your mind is not balanced, how do you think and advise people properly? So it's not just about charging 50,000, 1 million, or it's not about charging money. So when people bring to you the things that will not pay you as much as you will pay yourself when you add value to yourself, reject it. When I sit in my house and I'm reading authority and I'm dotting my I's and T's, I am actually earning more than when you collect that 50,000 naira. You just don't know, because the thing is this: I am getting prepared so that when the day to be prepared comes, I manifest. And when I manifest, I will earn it, whether you like it or not. Lastly, there are 3 types of money that you will earn, that a lawyer, the resources of income the lawyer must have. So you must identify them and intentionally cultivate them. One is the tap. That tap, it doesn't rush. It just does to. It may not be plenty money, but it is consistent and ever there. It's just like where they are selling diesel. When you come in contact with a client that has a potential to be your tap, please nurture them and be intentional in rendering service to them. That is what sustains the office. That's what pays salary and does it. Then the second one is the tank. That one, you may earn it once or twice a year, but it's money that earns you property and the likes and stuff like that. And then the next one is what we call the ocean. That's what makes you an Akínbọ̀rọ̀ SAN. It may just be once in a lifetime, but you must be intentional. Believe me, you will never qualify for any of these rooms if you do not load yourself with content that prepares you enough to earn it. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, the reason why you are seeing the briefs that is paying, that people, the person that said, how come they keep bringing to me the one that I feel that I do not deserve? Let me tell you this. God will not give you more than what you are prepared for. If your container is not large enough to receive the rain, it is only the dew that will come into it. Build yourself.
Anyway, another round of applause for him. You see, when he said, I was led, and he stood up. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Thank you very much. That was deep. That was insightful. Another round of applause for Chief Ayotunde Ogunleye. Now, that is because we have to end this session. But no, I'm not taking you again. The accessories after fact. I should not take anybody again. I promise our accessory after fact. The elders wanted to just do 1 minute and I'll hand over to you to close. Okay.
I believe that those of you who are here will be glad that you made it to this session. And I'm happier than most of you because I am happy that I choose the right person for this session. When I was taking that decision, because it's someone I've known for a long time, and I have absolute confidence in his capacity, capability, and erudity. I know that he will deliver and he will impact positively on the audience. And I'm so happy that Ayotunde Ogunleye, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has done justice to the reason he is here. Another round of applause for him. I must, through him now, appreciate all the resource persons. From my immediate right, Kayode Aderemi, whose profile you have read, who has spoken to you, who is a serving branch chairman of the NBA, to Dr. Olanike Adejumo, sorry, Adelakun. Interestingly, there are two of them. The Adejumo and Adelakun, we keep mixing them up. Our sister Adejumo is in Ife. She is in Lead City. She came also on referral. I'm going there. And before she finished speaking, I joined and I listened to her contribution and I was saying to myself, thank God we brought her in. She's a fantastic, panelist. And interestingly, Oluwatomisin Temitope, who is online, should have been here physically, but she couldn't, for whatever reason, our bosses choose to leave, out of the country just 2 or 3 days ago. And by nature of those who are in the corporate setting, know that everybody cannot leave. When you are in the management team, everybody cannot leave, the organization at the same time. So she couldn't, because she has other things she has to attend to, she couldn't leave Lagos. But she assured me she would join virtually. And here she is on the
platform who, she has spoken to us, and I believe we all enjoyed her presentation. She's somebody I know very well. I know, she must have done justice to the topic. I appreciate my dear brother, the moderator. I have at least 2 mentees. The Lenesik is not my mentee. It's not my boss. And it's far richer than me. But you see, I can also call him my boy because it's someone I'm very proud of. And I am so proud that Charles Ajiboye, who I know shouldn't have been here because he had other things that he should be doing, was able to make it down here. I was asking somebody, how many times did I say I called you last night? Just to be sure that he's able to make it. And when I finally saw him, I said, use this boy, I've been calling you, we're not responding to your call. But I was happy that he was able to make it. He has been working with me for a very long time, and I trust his capacity. It's not just diligence, he's also very articulate with his presentation anytime you give him any assignment. And he has done that with his being a moderator of this session. So I appreciate every member of this panel. You have done well. And of course, the audience who listen with rapt attention, you all have cause to go back and rethink your practice. And of course, recalibrate and restructure your practice if you are on your own already. If you are still under someone, start planning what to do when you eventually become your own boss. On that note, I appreciate everyone, including my dearest Egbon and leader, who is here with us. And I understand that he spoke to us earlier as well. Are Olumuwa Akimboro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Anytime you see someone that has impacted you, you should, when you're praying, you also pray that you should be like them. And that is one of the grace Ari Akimboro carries with him. Now, some of us, you see everybody is saying as wealthy as Akimboro. I know MBA has taken a lot of that money, but certainly not enough to send him out of practice and out of business. But he is a most successful legal practitioner by all standards. Thank you so much, sir, for your being with us this afternoon. Of course, I thank my friend and brother too, Latif Akongbe, SAN, for also joining us. On that note, on behalf of the Egbe Amofin, that I currently serve as the alternate chairman of the Conference Planning Committee, I thank all the panelists. I appreciate you for your time, for your service, and for your contribution. If I may disclose, apart from rendering his service, I'm talking about Oguleye, traveling all the way from Abuja to Lagos, from Lagos down here, spending at least minimum of about ₦1 million to my knowledge. Is it donated to this conference in the support of the conference? That is leadership, that is commitment, and that is loyalty. Thank you so much, and God bless all of you. Thank you. I'm sorry, my attention is in there somewhere, but I'm told that I should wait for award praise. But let's do it very quickly. So certainly, we call on the lead speaker. Okay. The lead speaker, Ayotunde Ogunleye, SAN. I will actually call my Egbon Are Olumuwa Akimboro to assist me with that presentation. Yeah.
On behalf of the Egbe Amofin Odua, this is an appreciation award to you Ayotunde Ogunleye, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, in appreciation of your outstanding intellectual and insightful presentation as the lead speaker of the section titled Specialization versus General Practice, Building a Personal Brand as a Young Lawyer at the Egbiambofi Odua National Conference 2026, dated this 18th day of June 2026. Congratulations.
Next one is Kyle Aderemi.
My chairman, Abeokuta, my brother, on behalf of Egbiambofi Odua, this is an appreciation award presented to Chief Kayode Aderemi Esquire in appreciation of your outstanding intellectual and insightful presentation as a panelist at the session titled Specialization versus General Practice, Building a Personal Brand as a Young Lawyer at the Egbiambofi Odua National Conference 2026. Congratulations, my brother. Charles. On behalf of Egbiambofi Odua, this is an appreciation award to you, Charles Ajiboye, FICMC, in appreciation of your distinguished role as the moderator of the session titled Specialization for General Practice, Building a Personal Brand as a Young Lawyer at the Egbiambofi Odua National Conference 2026. Before I present to you, I want to understand why they are calling you DJ. You see, the reason why I'm asking him is that it may be hiding some things from you, because they say you must also have another address or maybe another stream of income. So maybe his other stream of income is being a DJ, so that I can encourage you. If you admire him, you can also think of what you can do in that line. So why do you call him a DJ? He's actually a DJ. Oh, DJ. To you, my brother DJ Charles Ajiboye. Congratulations, my brother. Thank you very much. Well, thanks. Okay. Doctor, on behalf of the Egbiambofi Odua, this is an appreciation award to you, Dr. Olanike Adelakun, in appreciation of your outstanding intellectual and insightful presentation as a panelist at the section titled Specialization for General Practice, Building a Personal Brand as a Young Lawyer at the Egbiambofi Odua National Conference 2026. Congratulations, Doctor. Is there anything you want to disclose that has not been disclosed? Because we just discovered Charles is a DJ. Congratulations. I think it's over, I mean. All right.
Yes, there's a virtual presentation. One of our panelists, she's still here.
And to our dear sister, Temitope Oluwatomisi, are you hearing us? Please unmute
Yes,
yourself.
sir. Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you, sir.
On behalf of the Egbiambofi Odua, we are presenting you this award in appreciation of your presentation as a panelist, in appreciation of your outstanding intellectual and insightful presentation as a panelist at the session titled Specialization for Some General Practice, Building a Personal Brand as a Young Lawyer at the Egbe Amofin Odo National Conference 2026. So coalitions in
Thank you, sir.
online,
Thank you,
in
sir.
absentia.
Thank you,
So
sir.
I stretch my hand so that they can reach you wherever you are. I hope
Thank you,
somebody is
sir.
going to pick it on behalf. Congratulations, my
Yes,
sister.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Most obliged.
If I may add, apart from being one of our panelists, she also facilitated donation of soft drinks and some other drinks from our organization, International Breweries. So thank you, Tomitokwe Oluwatosin. Thank you so much. And I should also, because when you have people around you, you should appreciate them. My dear brother, Oke Ohagba, former Assistant Secretary of the NBA, we actually served together when I was Welfare Secretary. He was then the Assistant Secretary of NBA. We thank you for coming. We appreciate your presence. So on that note, I believe we can call for a group photograph.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Can we have a photographer here?
The panelists can stand, and we can also have the mentors in the building to join the photograph. The Leonard Silk Akingboro, Leonard Silk Akongbe. Okay is okay. Is Mr. Famokeke still here? Okay, sir, please. I'm sorry I couldn't take the intervention. Okay, at the top, no agree, but please join us for the photograph, please. Do we have any other person have omitted? Okay, thank you very much. Please let me just use this. Vice President, former Vice Chairman YLF Ikeja. Grace, come and join. No, this one is overriding. That was my Vice Chairman many years ago. Okay, panelists and moderator, hello. Thank you very much. And the coordinators, please. I think we should put our hands together for the coordinators of this session as well. Kafayat and Mayo. Can we put our hands together for them? Please put your hands together. They will not give you lunch. Oh. The lunch is in their hands. And so we'll have this picture and then. Thank you very much. So they will announce the protocol for lunch, and then with this section is hereby brought to an end. Thank you very much. It's been very, very great having you. Should you need to interact with any of the speaker, the panelists or the lead speaker, the time is now. There is no security, no protocol, and then they are all available.